Welcome to another episode of In the Kink podcast. Welcome, and I hope you've been enjoying things so far. Today's talk was inspired by a community share yesterday where I shared around my desires and what I was most not afraid, but most hesitant to embrace about myself and what I wanted in my life. And that was around sexuality, and that I actually shared in the end that I actually wanted to be a porn star. So part of me can't believe I just said that. But that sparked a whole conversation around sexuality, embodiment, how people think about sex, but not just the things that we think of positively, but also like struggles, distance within ourselves, not enjoying it, especially for women, even men sharing that they've never enjoyed sex in their 40s, 50s, and they didn't realize, some of them, that this felt uncomfortable for them. And so I started texting to some of the comments, and I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm writing, I'm sharing my story, so I feel inspired to come on and share with you all in person, because if one or two people find value out of that, and I feel like more people will find value here as well. So this is why I'm sharing. I'm exposing it all. There's very few things that I don't give you guys. I do keep a few things because everybody's got to have a little skeleton in the closet. We'll see what happens in the future. But for now, this is me. This is what I'm sharing. And I was a virgin till I was 23. I didn't want to get pregnant. That was like the big message I got from the sex ed talk in school was, you don't want to have a kid, don't have sex. So I just filed that away. I didn't do any research. I didn't think about it. I felt uncomfortable if someone hugged me too tight and close. I mean, I also had some inappropriate touching as a young child by an older man. So that probably had something to do with this as well. Very common for people to have inappropriate advances. So you're not alone. There's lots of, not that it's an excuse or a condoning of that, but unless we speak it, unless we talk about it, unless we share it, that this is not okay, then we can't change it, which is why we're here talking about these things. All kinds of vulnerable things coming out today. But yeah, so I put sex on the mountain. It wasn't even in my field. It wasn't until I was 17 on a school trip that I was really drawn to one of the local guys of the place we were visiting. And we ended up holding hands, chatting, hugging. And on the last evening, he pulled me in the corner, and started making out with me. I had no idea what was going on. We were fully closed. Well, I think he did pull on his pants at one point and put my hand on his penis. And I was just like, I didn't know what to do. Like, I let go and he put my hand back twice. And it was just like, I didn't know what a hand job was. I was so naive. Source looking out for me, of course, made him realize that things weren't going the way he wanted them to go, and it ended. We brought me back to the main group, and we parted the next day and had a couple letters exchanged, and that was kind of it. But that experience sparked my research phase. I wanted to know, like everything in my life, I want to know how things work, why, what, how can I learn about this? And at the time being in Canada, you get the clinical penis goes in vagina thing, and it just nothing else. Like, this is how you make a kid, this is how you get pregnant, this is what just this is how you prevent getting pregnant. That's it. Luckily, or by divine design, probably both, my oldest sister had this book, a sex educational book created by a church group, of all things, from Germany. So it was in German, but it was so educational. It had all the pictures, like naked man, like from the chest down, naked man, naked woman standing in front of each other, like penis erect is like, okay, so that's, and then talking about masturbation, group masturbation for teenagers, that's a thing. I had no clue. Mostly for boys, apparently. Just urges, like it had all the info. It was just such a like, whoa, okay. So I got educated really quickly. And then I did nothing with it. Absolutely nothing. It wasn't until I was, I think, 23. I was at an event, a camping event. My friend got me very, very drunk and kept pushing me on this guy to hang off him because she thought he was cute and she was married. And he had just gone through a whole bunch of trauma and he needed to just have human contact. And that's the person I lost my virginity to, because he needed to affirm his masculinity and his humanity, and not in like him saying those words. I just felt it. I just felt this energy. I just knew that's what he needed. And I just kind of had backed myself in that corner of like, I couldn't avoid, because we had gone that step, that energy, that timeline, and I lost my virginity that night. Part of me is still a little bit sad about that, but part of me was also very glad about it because it hurt. Losing your virginity as a woman hurts. You tear tissues, it's painful, there's just a tiny bit of blood, you gotta heal up afterwards. It doesn't feel good. So I was very happy. It was very short because it's very cold out. And he couldn't keep up an erection because of that. And I was just like, oh my God, I was so glad. He was so apologetic, and I was just like, I didn't say anything, but I'm like, thank God this is over. And then I was very upset afterwards. Because of the pain, because of the I knew theoretically, but I didn't know, and there wasn't really anybody I could talk to, and it's apparently still affecting me now because I'm starting to cry. So we have these experiences around our sexuality that we often don't get to share. We don't get to process the experience. We don't get to sit and talk with others and just like, hey, this thing happened to me, or this crazy experience. Like, I've had some crazy sex magic, going into space, like expanding energy, like I can't even explain it in words. I've had times where I became, or I didn't, I was so energetically intertwined with somebody, I didn't know whether it was my hand or their hand. It was all the same. So I've had some amazing experiences, but it mostly included going beyond the physical. So there's so much more. But I digress, I got sidetracked. Just wanted to share that I've had a lot of positive experiences first, but it took me a long time. I didn't have an orgasm until I was mid-20s, I think. Somewhere around there, mid to late 20s. And it wasn't from having sex with a partner, it was from someone using a vibrator on me. And that was such a aha moment, and I knew that owning a vibrator would change my life. So I didn't own one for the longest time because I was terrified of what that change would mean. It wasn't until my current partner, who was frustrated with me because I was so focused on pleasing them. And so it didn't even cross my mind to explore more about myself and having things feel good for me as well. And he bought me my first vibrator, and then we ended up going to a magic wand vibrator, and it's just like he had to learn about jealousy issues, not because me going with someone else, but me enjoying using a vibrator. That was a really interesting phase of our relationship, which is ironic because they're the ones who pushed that for me to explore, which I talked about them recently to it, and they're like, oh, I'd forgotten about that. So remind your partner if things that they instigated, and then get upset about it. It's like, but you asked me to do these things, so, show some grace. Anyway, I feel like this is very challenging for me because my throat is feeling rough now. So please excuse the change in voice and the slight awkwardness, because I am feeling all sorts of feelings, and I feel like this could be hours upon hours of talking, but I am going to try and keep it to half an hour. And I am also wandering in my mind because I am circling around something that is very touchy. It brings up a lot of emotions. It's very activating. So if you are feeling very activated by this, breathe, deeply into your stomach. Relax, let it all out. We don't have to go and do anything. We don't have to tell anybody. Even like, if you don't want to keep listening, go somewhere else. Go hug a tree. Ground yourself on some lovely grass or ground or dirt. Go garden. Pet your pets. But yeah, this is a energetically chaotic subject. I think it's right up there with money for humans, except humans will talk about money. They won't necessarily talk about sex and issues with sex. And for those of you who feel like you've never been able to connect to a partner, or it's never felt good, one of the things that changed things for me was actually learning to embrace what I liked, and not necessarily having to receive that from someone else, but receiving it from myself. I know some of you who are more into the kink interest is like, well, but you can't tie yourself up, and I prove you wrong because I do it all the time. It is different. It is not quite the same. You can't quite relax as much into the experience as when you are playing with someone else, but you can enjoy a play session with yourself, and you can enjoy spending time with yourself. You can enjoy looking at yourself and saying, hey, I look gorgeous right now. I lost so much weight the minute I stopped ignoring myself in the mirror and surprising myself was like, oh, I actually look gorgeous. And it was just my face. I was just the lighting, the way the shadows hit, I just saw beauty. And I know right now, I have lines under my eyes. I'm a little sleep deprived. Source keeps getting me up early and early in the morning. And my body just hasn't quite caught up with the change in sleep schedule. So I hope we will be able to figure that out soon. But embrace yourself. Embrace your body. Doesn't matter what it looks like. And you're going to tell me, Sarah, you're gorgeous. You can't tell me, like, I have this, and that. And I'm like, guys, I was the ugly kid. I was the one that all the boys ignored. I was plump. I wasn't fat or overweight, but I was plump. I wore glasses. I wore hand-me-down clothes. I got teased for it. It's not about what you look like or how you dress. Yes, dressing a certain way can really boost your confidence in yourself, and you can dress any body as beautiful. But the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So when you don't feel beautiful, find something, and you don't have to put on makeup. You don't have to dress your hair. Like I slept in my braids. You can't see it on video, but there's fuzzies all over the place. So it's not perfect. I'm not perfect, but I am, because I'm being perfectly myself. And that's your inroad, is your self-acceptance of who you are in this moment. And if that is too hard, accept that you have the beauty of life that you can breathe. And appreciate that about yourself. Because that energy of appreciation is going to shift you, is going to shift your body, is going to shift your mindset, is going to shift your life. And there's nothing else you have to do except truly feel it. Truly feel appreciation about something. And I want to tell you the story. So the minute I saw myself in the mirror, and this was, I think, 5-6 years ago. So late 30s that I started this, late 30s. I looked in the mirror and I said, I'm gorgeous. That looks gorgeous. And I had been rejected. I had been called ugly. I had like all these things all my life. And then I walked into my family's restaurant, and one of the waitresses walked in the door. She's in her 50s. And she's like, I hate how you look. You're so beautiful. You were one of those girls growing up that everybody envied because you're so beautiful. And I just stood there, my jaw dropping open, and I'm like, who is this person talking about? My life sucked growing up in school. I was shunned by people. I wasn't meant to be part of the collective tribe. I know not why now, But I didn't know then. It just sucked not having friends except for short periods of time. It wasn't until I was an adult that I actually got friends who stayed with me, which is so amazing. So happy, so glad that I'm making more friends. Thank you guys. It's gonna make me cry again. But I was so flabbergasted that this woman assumed that because of the way I look now, I was that way all my life. And because she's like, you know, so you have such gorgeous skin and all these things. And I'm like, well, I do things for that. I wear hats in the sun. I wear long sleeve clothes. I don't wear makeup for a reason, because I learned early on, anything you put on your skin, it just absorbs right into it. And your skin has to breathe. So if you put stuff on it that steals your skin can't breathe and you're suffocating it. So it ages because it's dying. So yes, you can reverse that. That's very possible. But you have to let your skin breathe. Just wash it with cold water. If you really want to put something in it, put some baking soda, and if you want to go extra fancy, sea salt. You can add essential oils. You absolutely don't need to. It's just for smelling nice. But your face doesn't need more. It just needs cold water. Wash it. If you need to scrub it with sea salt, scrub it with baking soda. It's your diet that will make a big impact. I have to not eat wheat, dairy, and processed foods and sugar. And my skin looks amazing. I do alkaline body care. I wipe myself down with a baking soda water solution. I'll put a link in the description to my other channel. I'll put a video up on that for those who are interested to go deeper into that subject. But same with my hair. I don't use any commercial products really, except like twice a year. But it's a whole, wormhole to go into that. But your perception of yourself comes first. When you perceive that you don't enjoy sex, that you don't enjoy sensuality, then the world will prove you right. So I encourage you to explore and find things that you enjoy. And honestly, it could be the feel of silk on your body, wearing a nice silk shirt. Natural fibers just feel so differently. If you have a chance, they're not as much in secondhand stores now, but you can find something that is either linen, silk, some wools like cashmere, gorgeous against the skin. Merino wools are kind of, they're not scratchy, they feel nice. But the silks and linens are definitely, especially fine linen, really nice against the skin. Touch. How much are you touching yourself? How much are you touching skin to skin? How much are you caressing your hair? Feel. It doesn't have, like, and for those who are more into energy, like, feel your aura. Just like stroke without stroking. See what you feel. It's so crazy how you can just like go and you're like still touching your energy field from one hand to the other. It's just like, it's so amazing, and you can pulse it and play with it and just like start bringing up, root chakra energy and move it through the body. And Kundalini is a whole thing. We'll probably talk about it in another video because this is a whole nother subject. But it's just like, play with yourself. And if you're telling me you don't have time, put a hand against your face. Just hold it there. 2 seconds. There you go. Caress your cheek. 2 seconds. blow yourself a kiss in the mirror. 2 seconds. It doesn't take a lot of time to make love to yourself, to show your own appreciation to your body, to your soul, for being human, for being here. It might make you cry, because it's making me cry right now. But we learn to push our, especially, I was going to say especially women, and that's not true. Even men, we learn to, are taught to push down our feelings, push down a love for ourselves and others, push down our sensuality, because men have to be tough and be the man in the house and do all the things, and women have to be all the things and be the mothers, be the business people, be the full-time workers, housekeepers. And it's shifting. Some men are now changing over to that role where they're taking on all everything. So it's not just gender-based, but just like gender roles traditionally. It doesn't have to do anything with your sex. So you're here to change that paradigm, because it's time that we fucking do whatever we want to do, no matter our sex, no matter our bodies, no matter our looks, our personalities, our cultural beliefs. We are here to explore the unknown, to create new paradigms, to shift the energy field, and to have friends, and to enjoy being human. This is like the epiphany of spirit to become dense enough. You have no idea how much energy it takes to physically materialize as a human. Just from two people coming together, bringing that energy together, creating an embryo and from an egg and a sperm, and just like the energy they're putting in each, and then the energy of the womb space and carrying that baby, growing that baby. And then even then, sometimes it's not enough to bring spirit in. Miscarriage is very prevalent. I've experienced it several times. I know lots of other people experience it. So it's not an easy thing to be here as humans. Don't take it lightly, but play with it. This is spirit's dream come true, to be embodied in human. So stop denying yourself, open up your heart to yourself, and maybe a few trusted others. If you're really hurt, which I know a lot of us are very deeply wounded, start learning to trust yourself. And that is your foundation to learn to trust others. But this has to come first. You trusting yourself, you loving yourself has to come first. And then that will reflect outwards. And it's so surprising every time I make a shift in here and then things shift out there. My family has so much hoarding history just from the Second World War, nothing being available. People were just like, they had to save anything, they had to straighten bent nails just because there wasn't anything available. They had to make do with everything. And that meant everything was kept. And then that created that I'm the third generation of that I know of. It could have been from further back too. But after yesterday's shift in my energy field, I'm able to open up a drawer, look through my clothes, and say, this feels good, this doesn't feel, should I keep this? And it's like, it's got holes in it, I feel bad. And it's just like, no, it dropped out of my hands to the floor. It wasn't mine to worry about anymore. And those energetic shifts, those shifts in my reality didn't happen because I tried forcing myself to sort clothes. it was such a struggle, such a hard thing. Wasn't till I shifted the energy, tying myself to those positions, to those habits, that they shifted in reality. So shift in yourself, explore within yourself, play with yourself, and then watch the world unfold. It's magic. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.